are looking at the Rome Agent Rocker, which is got a makeover for this year. I don't know if they're doing the camber and their hybrid rocker, but I don't know what I'm going to call this, because look at it. It's
a mustache.
It's rocker between the feet, but camber that's much more aggressive than previous Rome Agent rockers. That comes
He called
down
it Mountain Pop.
Mountain
Yeah.
Pop 2.0.
2.0. And yeah, everybody loves an upgrade, right? And the camber seems to be right there with the rocker. So it's not like, you know, most, pardon me, Peter, most boards, the camber's sitting a little higher than the rocker, and it only comes down when you press your feet on it. This seems to be even.
Yeah.
Or very close to it. I'm gonna try to get one of these and put it down on a table. But I gotta say, I've owned the Agent Rocker multiple times. Jimbo's owned it. I've put a season on it, you know, riding 30 plus days on that board. Comparing it to other boards, we've always liked this board. First thing I noticed, yes, much more stable than even last year's improvement.
Yeah.
Last year they had the hybrid rocker, but it was flatter. They mellowed it out. This year they just brought it, they bumped up, they augmented the rocker from like a B to a healthy C cup, and made the whole feel of the board more stable. It feels stable now. It feels like a lot of hybrid
stable.
camber boards I ride.
Yeah.
So this is kind of one of those conundrums. Do we call this a hybrid camber? Do we call it a hybrid rocker? I don't know. But all I know is this has more edge hold than it did before. I felt this thing gripping weird. We have, like, look up the hill right now. You can see the ice patches. Like, we have really good snow on the groomers, but occasionally you hit one of those ice patches, even right there underneath, and it's just like, oh, this is of all three Rome boards, this gripped like a champ. It felt like it was up there with some of the Magna Traction.
So glad it was my third out of 3.
It did.
Like,
And I could just lay out the most fun carve.
Yeah.
This thing carves so much better than the old Agent Rocker. Still, there are some boards out there who are better carvers.
Vastly improved.
But vastly improved.
Yeah.
And
It does not feel like the old Agent Rocker.
No,
at all.
I mean, I get this. It still has that, like, kind of in between an all mountain freestyle and all mountain. We say all mountain freestyle because they're usually centered stance and they're twins.
Yeah.
This has a twinish shape, but a centered stance.
Yeah.
No setback.
No setbacks.
Which is weird, because I'd like to see this be like a 20 mil setback, ride it centered during the day, during groomer days, and then powder days set it back, because I think that would be sick. But they kind of have this kind of in between both worlds. So you could call this all mountain, you could call it all mountain freestyle, and you wouldn't be wrong. And I liked riding it switch. Definitely always feel a difference on the Agent Rocker switch, but it's very easy. And it popped for days, even with my bad knee today. My knee was not feeling great.
Yeah.
I hit a couple lips and it just fucking launched off. And it's got decent speed. I think it's a huge improvement. My only concern is the old Agent Rockers used to float really well in powder. And now bringing this camber all the way back down, we haven't tried it in powder.
I would love
but
to.
now bringing it all the way back down makes me a little concerned about
I think they should
about
have added a
recommending.
setback.
I would love to try this out all day, every day.
Yeah. This has definitely become one of those boards where this is how I would describe it. A hybrid rocker, aggressive, camber dominant. Hybrid rocker, camber dominant. Because it feels way more aggressive. I mean, I love hybrid rocker boards, but when the camber really initiates in my turns, I don't like it to feel washy, you know, but I love to feel no catches and a lot of playfulness.
Didn't feel catchy, did it?
There's no catchiness, there's tons of playfulness, but there is as much grip and aggressive in the camber as I could possibly want out of a hybrid rocker board, which I know sounds like a lot, sounds like a mouthful, but that's because it is.
Gargle.
And that's because that is exactly what this board is presenting to us. I mean, you can just see it's so mustachioed.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love this board. I would have no problem recommending this board to anyone who wanted an all-mountain freestyle board. One board quiver, but the only thing that does concern me is how is this more aggressive camber going to affect the float without a setback?
I don't think it's going to offer any better float than I mean, it feels like it'll probably be more like a flat board in powder. you know, where they're better than camber, but they're still not that great, you know. It's more for the more advanced rider who knows how to plane and powder well, you know, from back in the days when you didn't have help.
And when you were a kid.
Yeah. You know, you had to keep
Science.
your speed and figure out what you were doing at all times, and
Yeah.
always be on your game in the powder so you didn't go over your handlebars.
Yeah.
Or get stuck and get buried. This is kind of more in that realm, but still easier. I would say it's not semi-catchy, it's stable, but I would say, like, you pair this up to like the old Agent Rocker, that thing you couldn't catch an edge. This I think you could. But so, what do you think, Jimbo?
I loved this board. I'm really glad I got to go out on the third run after the other two. Not to diminish the other two. This thing was,
But it was better. It was so much better.
Yeah.
It was so much more
you know,
fun.
like you can
It
melt
was
melt
so-
snow on my head after that
Yeah.
run.
So carvy goodness.
Yeah, this one
And
was so
Parky,
awesome.
Quick, short
Parkalicious.
radius turns, medium radius, wide radius, pop,
Butter.
switch, regular, carve.
Check the footage. I fell down,
Ah.
and that's when I broke the
If I'm
camera
not
thing.
lazy enough, video editing is so hard.
I broke the mountain.
If I take the time to edit my video and put in our riding, you'll see Jimbo and I carving this and Peter riding it. But look what Jimbo did. He broke our one. Oh, come on now.
Awesome board. Definitely
Awesome board.
recommend it.